Okay, we're going to take a look at paragraph A and paragraph B in this reading. And as we go through, I'm going to show you what my notes mean. And I'm also going to show you the notes that I took while I was reading. A great way to remember what you're reading, to understand it more deeply, and to stay really focused is to take notes. It makes you organize your thinking, and it makes you choose what is the most important. So this is a high-level critical thinking skill. You don't write everything down. You have to choose what is the most important thing. So this is a great skill for college or for GED as well. So here we go, paragraph A. It says the Earth's population of 7 billion people speaks roughly 7,000 languages. Now when I see numbers, I immediately start to fall asleep, okay? Numbers don't mean a lot to me. So I made myself write it out. What is 7 billion? Well, I know this is hundreds, thousands, millions, billions. So this is 7 billion. The Earth's population is 7 billion, speaks roughly, generally, approximately 7,000 languages. So here I wrote 7,000, and I said, okay, well, what would that be? Can I reduce this? Here's a little bit of math. Here I divided the top and the bottom by 7,000. So I crossed out 3 zeros here, 3 zeros here. My 7s here I reduced to 1, and this is the number I got. So this is hundreds, thousands, million. So what I got was the population per language. So 1 million people per language. So if we were to evenly share out all those languages among people on the earth, every language should have 1 million speakers. So I did that math to help me understand the numbers a little bit better. But it says, however, there is a very unequal distribution or sharing in the number of people who speak those languages. It's not 1 million speakers for every language. There's an unequal distribution. In fact, this gives me more information. In fact, just 85 of them are spoken by 78% of the world's population. Okay, numbers again. This is getting hard for me to focus. So let's look at my notes. I wrote introduction, 7 billion people, 7,000 languages. And this is my math, 1 million people per language. But, so in the text it said, however, I used the word but the number of people who speak the languages is uneven. Then I drew myself a little diagram to help me remember and understand better. 75% of the world's population speaks 85 languages. Only 85 languages? Out of how many languages? Out of 7,000. Okay, 85 out of 7,000, that's not very much. So most people speak just a few languages in the world, the most popular languages. So that's how I remembered the main idea there. And the least common 3,500 languages are spoken by fewer than 9 million people combined. For example, now anytime it gave me an example in this reading, you'll notice that I chose to highlight it in green. Not because it's not important, but because it's not the main idea. In this reading, the main idea is always given first, and then there's an example. And the examples are interesting, but they support the main idea. So I'm not going to write down all the examples, just the main idea. Here it says, for example, there are only 235,000 speakers of Tuvan, the native language of the Republic of Tuva in the Russian Federation. And there are fewer than 2,000 known speakers of Akka, a language from Arunachal Pradesh in northeastern India. Okay, this is giving me examples of languages that are spoken by a few people. Okay, now I have the next paragraph. Many of these smaller languages are disappearing. How are they disappearing? Rapidly. So this is a main idea I'm going to put right here. Smaller languages are disappearing rapidly, quickly, very fast. Here it says more than 1,000 are listed critically or severely endangered. So more than 1,000. Remember, we have 7,000 languages. 1,000 are endangered. So that would be 1 in every 7 In fact, here I have that same expression again, it is estimated, guessed, that a language dies every 14 days. According to linguists, within the next century, nearly half of the world's current languages will disappear as communities abandon their native tongues in favor of English, Mandarin, or Spanish. So on my notes, I put these statements. 1,000+ languages are endangered. Every 14 days, a language dies. In the next 100 years, half of languages will die. And people are choosing English, Spanish, or Mandarin instead. Now, at the end of this paragraph, we got something very interesting. 2 questions. But should we be concerned about language extinction? And what can we do to prevent it? Have we heard these sentences before? We have. Those are headings. Why should we be concerned, right? But should we be concerned about language extinction? Okay, it's asking questions at which it's then going to answer in the text. So it's letting us know how these ideas are going to be organized in this text and what we can expect when we read it. What can we do to prevent it? How can we save dying languages? So different words, same meaning.